I am Angel Amoroso, and welcome to Angel Amoroso versus YouTube and episode 11 of Fuck You, Mick Foley. Let us please get right into it, and hopefully there will not be any stops and starts and any kind of technical difficulties this time around. But let's see. We'll try to go full screen here, and then we're underway.
Good evening, Facebook Live. I am Angel Amoroso, and I am joined this evening by my daughter, Christina Jade Poulos. And we are here for episode 9 of Fuck You, Mick Foley. So, usually we wait until people have joined us, and just to refresh anyone who doesn't know what the program is about, and misunderstood about what it is about. This program is about how myself and my family was cyberbullied, harassed, and gang stalked in real life by the fans of Mick Foley. So we're going through comments, some of the comments of some of the people who made it a part of their lives to harass us on a daily basis for a long time and still continue to do so. This is not a program focused on harassing Mick Foley in any way. This is to expose his fans and the people on his side and how they feel about the subject of child molestation in professional wrestling, and statutory rape, and many other subjects that don't really even need to be gotten into, but they made comments. So we're gonna go through Reddit and some other forums and boards and nonsense, and let's just, so far Evan Romano has joined us. Welcome, Evan. And we're going to get, okay, 3 people have joined. Not really sure why we're not seeing all of it, but we're going to get back to the chat after we read through the comments, and then we'll take, any questions that might come up or any comments that maybe, you want to make. We'll read it at the end of the show. Brad Williams has joined us. Sean Rattray has joined us. So let's get right into it, because we know it's late, so it's 9:18 already. Okay. So the first one is from, what is this, reportchile.net.
Yeah, I think this is just an article. So let's put this up here.
Okay. Reportchile.net.
Alright, so that's just an article.
Okay. So go on, you read it, please.
In the last hours, a serious accusation arose against the ex-fighter of the Free Fight, Mick Foley, because they blamed him of abusing a minor several years ago. My computer's good.
Lean closer. Lean closer.
Okay, the woman named Angel Amoroso revealed that when she was 15 years old, the former wrestler had sexual intercourse with her without her consent.
Go on and laugh about it. Angel Amoroso. That's another name. Angel
Given the seriousness of the matter, the former athlete who became known for the characters of Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love in the WWF, current WWE, has not given any statement on the subject. In addition, from one of the most important industries of wrestling, WWE, have not been referred to the situation.
And have they still? Have they still? Anybody care to know?
Okay, and that was the video.
Keep going.
Okay, so it was translated, so it was another article.
Okay, this is from December, 6, 2017.
Second.
They accused Mick Foley of having sex with a minor. Who's they? Who's this they? Who's this they? Go on. It's just me. I don't know who this they is, but go on. I got like a mouse in my pocket.
Okay.
It's me and the mouse.
Israel. Okay. December 2nd, 2017, WWE ex-wrestler Mick Foley has recently been accused by a woman named Angel Amoroso for having sex with her when she was only 15 years old. Amoroso showed up outside of a recent Foley book signing to protest. The image of women has rapidly viralized on social media. So far, the Hall of Famer has not made any statement about it, but the woman has received a number of criticisms where they accuse her of having been a ring rat, a name given to the groupies that they offered to the fighters.
Either way, by the way, what's the difference? Like, give your criticisms about it and everything, but and a rat is rat. That was December 2017, and still no comments being given.
Okay, so
please, let's move on.
For wrestling page, so I guess another article.
Okay, Mick Foley and other WWE legends are accused of sexual abuse. This one's by Yuri Gabriel of who knows what this forum is. I don't know, but go on, Christina, please read it.
Mick Foley and other WWE legends are accused of sexual abuse. Lately, innumerable cases of sexual abuse have come to the surface. This is not even famous, and it seemed only a matter of time before it came to the world of pro wrestling. Now, WWE legend Mick Foley is accused of this by a woman who said that former WWE superstar had sex with her when she was 15 years old. Mick Foley has not been seen in WWE since he was fired as the general manager of Monday Night Raw at the end of March. Since then, he has been traveling the world for all other endeavors and has concocted a number of autographs from this book. These accusations of sexual misconduct against Foley arose in one of his recent book inscriptions since a woman named Angel Amoroso essentially held the protest. They got your name right there.
All right, bravo, for once.
The Wrestling News reported on Amoroso's allegations that Mick Foley had sex with her when he was only 15 years old.
When he was 15 or when she was, what's it say?
Yeah, it says here. All right. The self-proclaimed wrestling group posted a video of Amoroso live on Facebook where she says she wanted everyone to know about it while she held a billboard with her accusations.
What's self-proclaimed wrestling group?
And
What are you
Ryan
talking
Clark
about?
posted this. Ryan Clark. Pat Turner sent this photo along, which reportedly took place outside of Mick Foley's book signing earlier tonight.
Ryan Clark is, again, you're a straight up little weirdo. Go on, moving on.
Okay, there's a bit of strong language in the video, so watch this knowing it's not something light to hear. Angel Amoroso claims that Foley had sex with her in Pennsylvania when she was 15 years old. She also claims that some of her wrestling friends had sex with her when she was only 12 years old. She claims that Foley is a child molester and a pedophile who abuses young girls. At no point during the video does Amoroso drop the names of other fighters or even Earl.
Really? Maybe they didn't watch the whole video.
Or even enter the store where Foley's autograph session is taking place.
They didn't watch the whole video, did they?
Foley also did not leave the store to confront or to talk to her, and he did not disclose any comments on those charges. The only thing she specifically says is that the other professional fighters who also had sex with her were WWE legends. A user named the Destroyer88 said in an MMA forum that Amoroso claims to have had sex with a number of pro wrestling personalities in 1994, including Paul Heyman, Mick Foley, Dave Meltzer, Ric Flair, Brutus Beefcake, Ultimate Warrior, Road Dogg, Brian Pillman, Marty Jannetty. Let's see, Arn Anderson.
What MMA forum? I want to know what MMA forum they're talking about. But go on.
In a video he posted on YouTube, Amoroso even claimed he started dating Paul Heyman. Who's he?
I don't know.
Oh, I think maybe this is translated, so they're getting Angel, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what.
All right, when he was only 12 years old, she uses a wrestling promo delivered by Heyman as proof that he admitted sexual assault when she was 14. As word of these accusations began to run through social networks, some of wrestling fans began to look at things a bit more, with Angel Amoroso claiming that Mick Foley had sex with her as a teenager. Some are unwilling to believe his words. Over the years, Mick Foley has become a great advocate for those who have suffered different types of abuse in their lives. He spent a lot of time working with RAINN, which represents the National Network for Rape, Abuse, and Incest in the United States. These statements of Angel Amoroso are only the latest accusations that come across prominent public figures. She claims that Mick Foley and many other wrestling personalities had sex with her and engaged in sexual misconduct with her when she was a teenager. It is not known whether Foley or WWE will have any comment on these allegations. Source, Hal.
And it's funny how still they haven't. And by the way, RAIN does not stand for Rape and Incest in the United States. It stands for Rape and Incest National Network. But okay,
I know
they got a few things wrong, but at least they got my name right. And the age of a couple other things to clear things up about other things that they said. So
okay, so
about other people.
About the translated site.
Okay, so this is Wrestling Live
in Vivo.
All right, Wrestling in Vivo. So that's a what like one of those Mexican
yeah, it's
sites. Okay.
So a woman accuses WWE legend for rape when she was 15. Yes. Okay. It's amazing when you spot the name of some industry fighter for such sensitive issues as being accused of rape. However, it is even worse when this happens in people who do not acquire the age of majority and end up being victims in this type of deplorable acts. Regarding this, a woman named Angela Amoroso.
How is my name? My name is not Angela. I just want to get that straight. And anybody who refers to me as Angela, I won't even respond to you. Go ahead.
Has openly accused Mick Foley for alleged rape when she was only 15 years old. Likewise, Miss Amoroso also mentions that she had sex at that age with other fighters such as Ric Flair, Brian Pillman, Paul Heyman, and even Dave Meltzer himself.
No, Dave Meltzer's someone else himself. Well, who the fuck else would it be?
Wait, hold on.
Something wrong with these people.
On the other hand, many fans detract from what Angela says, mentioning that she is doing this show just to have a little space in the press and have a bit of fame.
What show? Because this is the only show that I'm doing, and this is a year later, and this is about the comments that other people are making, not about...
And these are the tallest men in Hollywood.
So this is the tallest men in Hollywood. Well, that's interesting.
Okay, whatever the reality, this young lady makes strong accusations with if at any time, will have to be proven. If she has the necessary evidence that would incriminate Foley, these things are going to get very complicated for the legend of the violent fight.
The necessary evidence. I want to know what the necessary evidence is. I want to know.
Okay, that was over. Vivas Football. This is another site.
Vivas Football. All right.
Having sex with mine. This might come out weird for the translation. Anyway, harassment and sexual abuse, unfortunately, is on the front page today, mainly related to the film industry. It all started with producer Harvey Weinstein being accused by dozens of actresses. The most recent thing we published was the words of his former assistant, the first to break his confidentiality agreement to be able to talk about the harassment he suffered. Former assistant to Harvey Weinstein breaks confidentiality agreement and reveals details of sexual harassment. Okay, let's move on. This talks about, I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay,
you know
but we talk about professional wrestling, and today we bring a possible case of child abuse. A woman named Angel Amoroso is accusing Mick Foley of having sex with her when she was 15 years old. In fact, he has gone to a recent book signing by the WWE Hall of Fame member to protest, as we see in the next picture that circulates on the network and next video uploaded to his Facebook.
Why do they keep saying he and his? Did he think I'm a man or something? What's wrong with these people?
We cannot confirm that what Amoroso says.
Now I'm Angela Amor. All right. I got so many names I can't keep track.
Maybe Mick Foley will soon tell you his version. But on the other hand, there are those who are accusing this woman of having been a ring rat, name given to groupies that were offered to the fighters. Even a woman accuses her of having slept with more than 20 wrestlers, indicating that she now regrets does not make them monsters, although certainly they would not be, well, what they supposedly did. I don't know.
It's amazing that these people that wrote these articles actually went through the entire thread of the live stream and got these comments from people that were making comments and made them part of their stories.
Right.
Like it was fact of like, oh, this person said that she had sex with 20 wrestlers. Like that person knew me. Like I did an entire show about like those idiots, and like those people didn't know anything about me, but these people who had newsletters and articles that they were writing also didn't know anything about me and didn't bother to ever try to get in touch with me at any point for an interview to clear any of this up. And with all the videos that you see attached to it belong to the social injustice warrior, because he was a little sneaky fucking douchebag who was being a douchebag. Let's just end it at that. Moving on, this one is the Don Tony. I actually got to this.
The comments
I read,
on YouTube?
Yeah, I read all this Don Tony stuff. And it's weird because after this...
you read this on YouTube then?
I did, where, you know, V says all this stuff. Actually, I don't know if I read his comments there because they weren't on my thing. I think they might have gotten deleted. So these are the comments from this little douchebag. Go on, this is social injustice story. Who I used to do favors.
All right, so, oh man, Patrick, your wife's story don't add up. She's worked with me on my channel. I've spoken to her numerous times. Her stories are constantly changing: her age, the year it took place, who was and wasn't involved. These are not indications that what she says is the truth. I believe she's a highly delusional person who's made this way from a lifetime of trauma. You and CJ are only feeding off her delusions.
First off,
wait, and you're allowing her to think she's in the right, and she's absolutely not. Her story is inconsistent, and her age and the time of these events are shady at best. You're good intentioned, but you are the one ruining.
Well, okay, well, let me just say that this, I played this Don Tony video out before this was like an entire episode, and I read the comments, and at this point, this being Fuso hadn't made this comment at this point, so
and also at first she said it was consensual sexual encounter. Now she's saying she was
okay. So now after reading that, I understand that this Don Tony got his information from V and Fuso, and so did everyone else, because this kid was making videos and running around to all the different forums and boards and dropping his video in with all the misinformation and all the bullshit and getting everyone confused about what was going on. So this Don Tony guy, you know, it totally had everything wrong and was put under the impression of all this because of this little moron who was just totally out of control, harassing us and started stalking me. And from what I understand, like the other day when, the other week when I did the Don Tony episode, someone actually private messaged me, and I don't want to open my inbox because I don't want to expose the person at all. But they told me that Don Tony is a friggin' weirdo that no one respects, and he actually pays people to piss on him. So I understand, like, you know,
well, that's saying a mouthful.
People, yeah, it's seriously people that are into like fetish nonsense and everything, but people that pay to have like human waste on them are just like the worst fucking kind. But moving on.
Okay. This is from message board. Death Valley Driver. Wrestling groupie Angel Amoroso showed up at a Mick Foley signing claiming he's a pedophile. Wrestling group.
Right. What's this supposed to mean? Because
that's how she describes herself on her Facebook page. Former groupie at WWE, former groupie at WCW and NWA Wrestling Collective. She also claims she was abused by Paul Heyman, Jim Cornette, Dave Meltzer, Stan Lane, Bobby Eaton, Bobby Fulton, Mike Awesome, Bird Dog, Jesse James, Eddie Gilbert, Brian Pillman, Mike Enos, Ultimate Warrior, Brutus Beefcake, Marty Jannetty, Sid, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Ric Flair.
You know, my head almost pops off of my shoulders when I read Mike Awesome. Seriously, fucking Mike Awesome. I don't know, and I realize that they think that Paul Diamond is fucking Mike Awesome. And that's how I narrowed it down, that that's what they think. And that it's just so crazy that these are supposed to be wrestling fans and they don't know the difference between Paul Diamond and Mike Awesome. But moving on.
And there goes the seemingly final place on the interweb I can go to for a bit of escape from the world. So
and that's Reverend Axel Future, by the way, that comment was made by, who has a picture of the Grand Wizard as his little profile picture. And Reverend Axel Future is sort of a wrestler and started his wrestling career in TCW in 1996, which I owned, operated, and ran solely by myself. So let's see if Axel Fisher has anything more to say, because I'd like to see. I don't believe his tune would change against me at all in this situation. So go on.
Geez, she's the Constantine Kiros of sexual assault allegations. Mike Enos, that's random. I don't know.
I don't. We don't know who they're referring to, but
screen cap video of her post detailing these encounters are something. I'm not posting it. If you're on the F4W board, it's there. Okay.
We don't know what the F4W board is.
I'm pretty big on believing victims, but the sheer size of her list makes me somewhat dubious. But I guess I don't really know.
Do they know though what a groupie is? They're calling me a ring rat and a groupie, but do they know what it is? Because ring rats and groupies don't just sleep with one wrestler and move on. And if you actually understood the definition of the insult you're trying to throw at me, then maybe you would not be so shocked at the randomness of the person or the number count. Go on.
It's not like she's just a random person.
I don't understand how you don't understand this.
She comes up a lot in 90s Northeast indie stories.
Oh, so I guess I just popped up and I'm nobody. Like I'm hashtag a mark, right?
Didn't she have a role in ECW for a little while? Did she? You can only just look it up. Okay, it sounds like she had a role in a lot of different promotions. They said role like the ROLL.
Oh, like the Amoroso role. So that's supposed to be like.
Bread joke. All right, grab the weekly. What is that word? Pure wrestling. Wrestler Guide issue yesterday for the first time, and who knows how many years. I love just all this.
Just a bunch of blah blah.
I've got nothing to do. I see this is why
they're talking about some James Ellsworth, and this is like, I don't know. People keep bringing this up. I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't know who James Ellsworth is.
She was a manager on early 90s ECW shows.
Okay, well, somebody got it right. Bravo.
AJ Styles seems like the new Bret Hart.
Yeah, who cares? That's not what this show's about, but go on.
What about a turkey prince?
Go on.
Alright, this is all about whatever.
And it goes on and on. Yeah, it's okay. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, is that what they call it when they a manager?
Mm-hmm.
Not to make light of this at all, as where there's smoke, as we've seen, there's often some fire. Introducing yourself as a wrestling group, your ring rat is probably not the best way to establish sympathetic credibility to a mainstream audience.
Let me just explain that. No, it is what it is, and the reason why that was on my Facebook profile since I opened the Facebook profile, it was on there, and I put it on there, and I put the years that I was a groupie from, and no one said anything. I put my age on it so that people can, you know, do a little math. Born March 4th, 1975, groupie, and I put the collective because I'm not good. Facebook going to argue with Facebook about who bought it. Jim Crockett owned it and when Jim heard it. I'm not going to argue about all that. So I just the collective, and they won't let me put WWF because it kept coming up as an animal thing. But the thing is, like, I put it up there. And no one ever made comments about it. And the thing is that for like all my life, that's what I was referred to as. And that's what I was known as my whole childhood. My entire childhood is the ring rat and the groupie. So when and you have to understand the sense of humor, the morbid sense of humor that I have towards my situation, because I've cried so much, I'm done crying. So you gotta laugh about it sometimes. And I put that as my past, titles, because that's what they were. The end. Moving on.
If this is legit, how many of you feel like this being another fuck this business moment? I don't know. I didn't stop watching movies after Weinstein or Netflix after Spacey. I might say fuck MICK FOLEY, which is something I hoped I would never have to do. But if they're guilty, drag them. It's the only way things will get better.
By the way, MICK FOLEY does have a job right now currently, doesn't he? Because as I'm going to get to in later programs, I got a bunch of papers talking about like him losing work and all that kind of stuff over this. And looks like he didn't lose any work. As a matter of fact, he gained more gainful employment since the issues. So
after his work with Rain, I just can't fathom MICK FOLEY having committed statutory rape. Some of what she is saying is very likely true, but I just can't believe that part.
Everything they just said is all, it's just a bunch of words. Like, I agree, but I don't agree, but I do, but I don't. Like, it just pick a side and stand on it, and make sure that the side that you stand on isn't the wrong one, because you might stumble back and step in shit. Go on.
How many were surprised that this hasn't already happened? When you beat wrestling to the punch in the sleaze department, that's the shocker. Someone saying it's very naive that, they can't believe what they're hearing is true or whatever. They said, wait for the facts. I'm sure a guy like Mick, that at least one guy, the king of sleaze, Vince, thought looked like a hobo for a long time, was above something like this. Get out! I'm reading. What? All right, so.
I don't understand what's not to be believed. This is not new. It really isn't. None of this is new. None of this is new. It's just like they're all acting like it's a new issue, but it isn't. Go ahead.
Okay, isn't this how they get you though? The public face, which people share often, runs counter to the shit they also do when no one is looking. I wouldn't be surprised if MICK FOLEY did some vile shit to an underage girl, because I'm never surprised when anyone does some vile shit that they think they can get away with.
Ooh, well, see that some people have a sense of what's going on in the world, and they're not such marks that they'll let that block their moral compass. Go on.
Devil's advocate, person donates to charity cause as overcompensation for something that happened in their past, either as victim or perp.
Oh, well, another wise comment.
Someone says in response to someone else, that certainly happened before, but it just seems like such a cynical view of the world to have. And yes, I know we were talking about wrestling here. Okay, I suppose it's cynical, but when I say it, I'm not trying to represent some sort of affected cynical persona. It's just a realistic way to look at things. Most of the guys, like 9 out of 10, according to a WAPO article I read, though I don't have the link right now, who get accused actually did whatever shit they were accused of when it comes to rape, sexual assault. Yeah, I hope Foley's in the 10% of men being falsely accused, but the numbers aren't cynical, they're just numbers. To quote noted modern sociologist Run DMC, it's like that, and that's the way it is. And that's the way it is.
Well, I mean,
okay.
I'm not correct.
And the topic was closed.
I like the name is Smelly McUgly. I love that. A wise comment from a stupid name. Go on.
Okay, on the one hand, ignorance of the law is no excuse. On the other hand, hypothetically, if a girl tells you she's 18 before you shag her, and then she says she's actually 15 afterwards, especially if it's decades afterwards, are you really guilty of anything besides taking somebody at their word? Not saying that's what happened, but Mass Transit got to work a show by lying about his age. The wrestling business is very much in the mold of anyone who's backstage, and not being a total mark about it is probably supposed to be there.
I believe Mass Transit, like, got his head cut open, and I don't know. I believe he was 18 years old. I don't know. I got my head cut open in the same building when I was that age, and no one was concerned about how much blood I lost. I don't know what they're trying to get.
The list also includes Von Erichs. Okay, that was the crux of the defense Errol Flynn used in his trial. He said that girl had presented herself as in her early 20s. At the trial, they actually had her dressed like a Bobby Soccer. Flynn had pictures of them together, and she looked rather mature. He was acquitted with the idea anyone could ever have mistook her for someone who was 21.
But she didn't lie about her age.
Okay. It's not a legal defense, but can help in the public eye, which would be the only issue here, since with how much time has passed and with her credibility, I don't see it ever going to court if she pursued it. Which it seems so far like she just wants attention, not a court case. I am not a famous athlete, but I assume they aren't great about carding, so I'm sure there are many sports players and wrestlers that inadvertently had sex with 15 to 17-year-olds.
Lots of them. Lots and lots of them.
With all the athletes these days that have entourages, one of them should always be in charge of screening potential romantic encounters for ID and signing consent forms.
Yeah, they're usually called road agents, but when the road agents are partying with your group of people, stuff like that's really, no rules apply. No rules apply. But go on.
Someone said it wouldn't be that surprising, basically, and that makes it a little curvy.
Yeah, people are saying that a lot, that he's a little pervy, and
okay, someone said the same Mick Foley that spent most of the book lusting over Melina and even implemented her into an angle where it made absolutely no sense just because he wanted to get close to her.
Oh, yeah, I guess he did get creepy. That is a little creepy. I didn't know he did that. You learn a lot of stuff when you don't watch wrestling, and then you read stuff like this, and people want to bring up stories. Like I didn't know that.
Wrestling is as carny as politics. I'll wait for the facts and judicial hearings. You have to assume that much like rock and roll groupies, the ring rats element to territorial wrestling is the bottomless Pandora's box, right?
Right. That's someone sensibly talking that, obviously is around wrestling.
And Occam's razor for me here is just him being a creep wanting to get close to Tori Amos in the same line as the Melina argument above, and that he's also his own biggest fan. Can't drop on social media how much he donated his latest charitable act enough. Okay, when I heard about the story, I went down an Angel Amoroso rabbit hole. She was in an adult world at a very young age, doing apartment wrestling and lingerie while just a kid, flashing the ECW crowd in a match at 18. Not that it's a defense, but she did look old for her age, and why in the world would some 14-year-old be on the road? Don't know if the allegations against Foley are true, but it's hard to look at the facts and not conclude that she was used and abused by the boys. What a sad, sad tale.
But whoever Johnny G is that made that comment, wow. Because, wow. That should go in comment of the day. Go on.
Okay, in defense, we know for a fact, because Foley said it, that Foley's reason for going so hard for Rain. He got selfish reasons for Rain and Lyric, but he actually admits flat out his selfish reasons, namely that he supports Rain so much because Foley really, really wanted to be friends with Tori Amos.
That is creepy. But if he admits to something that seems so creepy publicly, it's, you know, maybe it's something more than that. And I'm telling you that it is.
They're talking about other things in this thread.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, there's a lot of different topics within the thread, but you know, when you take a screen recording of stuff, you figure you read the stuff later. And if anyone's got any comments, you know, to make, you know, you'll read them after the comments from all this wrap up, and as we're going out and off. So go on.
Oh, I'm going on.
Or not, or what?
No, it's not.
All right, these are just a bunch of random comments about current people, and oh, there's a little promo there that we probably can't play. That was Manny Fernandez and Rick Rude. Oh, there it goes again.
This is nothing.
Manny's a buddy of mine. I don't know why they put him in the thread, try to involve him in this. He got nothing to do with this, and he'll kick your ass if he knows you're talking about.
Okay, this was
e-wrestling news. I think a
lot of people posted this on Facebook, and there was a lot of comments under that, but we're saving that for another time.
Yeah. The one on Facebook, I actually read the one on Facebook, I'm pretty sure. But this one, I don't know if
there were people who shared it, and then there were comments under those,
right, and then that was
goes
taken down. So let's do this one first. This was the douchey one from another one from Ryan Clark that you know, things got taken down and then back up and then shared in groups and then taken down again. So go on, Dom.
Okay, a Facebook page for a woman named Angel Amoroso could be found at this link. The page features videos showing her outside Foley's autograph session. We have also found this video on YouTube.com, where an Angel Amoroso claims she was sexually assaulted by multiple WWE superstars. You can check that out below. Okay. eWrestlingNews.com reached out to MICK Foley for a statement or comment regarding the photo above, but we have not heard back as of this writing. If we receive a statement from him, we'll post it immediately.
We could go back there and see that there's no statement, and there never will be.
Okay, for the comments.
Go on. Go for it,
okay.
Dom.
Here's a tip. I'm fine.
Go on.
No, wait.
Come on,
wait,
move in.
Stop! Alright, here's a tip. Get out. Alright, talk to your parents why they were letting their 12-year-old daughter be a fucking ring rat. Don't believe this whore anyway. Just another attention seeker and FFS. I don't know what that means. Ryan Clark, stop helping these cunts spread slanderous lies, or are you another limp-wristed cuckold cowling at the feet of feminazis' agenda to demonize all men?
Well, hold on. He started off pretty good. You know, parents shouldn't let their 12-year-old daughter be ring rats. I agree. But then he went into a tailspin of nonsense that I just couldn't keep up with about cuckolds and whatever and cunts and calling us cunt, whatever. So go on.
Someone just attached Ryan Clark, you know, trying to reach, you know, through the Facebook, and someone says how professional of him, like that. Traces of semen were found on the crime scene. Would this be enough evidence to lead investigators to MICK Foley?
Okay. And I bet that's what they're asking for too. And it's because of a joke that I made saying, what do you expect out of evidence? Do you want me to contact my friend and ask her if she still has bed sheets from you know, you know what I mean? From decades ago. Do you want me to ask her? And that somehow, that comment got misconstrued as I had bed sheets with semen on them. And now people were very insistent on, they wanted to see these and they wanted proof of them when it was just, it was a joking comment that, like, what do you want me to do? Go get them. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, let's move on. In Soviet Union, we have a saying, guilty until proven innocent, but guilty all the same because it's been on the net. Sadly, this seems the new trend in cisty America. I would hate to even hear I would hate to ever say somebody's lying about such a disgusting crime, but sadly it does happen, and more so with famous people. It happened a number of years ago to Zoya's friend at work, a woman who was... Wait, where's this going? Should I read them?
Go ahead.
Okay. A woman who he was friends with accused him of locking her in a hotel room and sexually assaulting her for 12 hours. As he worked with vulnerable adults, he was suspended from work, but the matter was not spread to fellow workmates until said woman went to his workplace and shouted at the top of her voice to anybody who would listen, including patients and their families. 3 days later, Zoe's friend was cleared of his charge. The night that she said this attack had taken place, he was attending a friend's wedding 400 miles away, and thankfully it was recorded on the wedding video and the venue CCTV continuously through the night and the next day. The woman then admitted to making up the attack because he had turned down her advances. Zoe's friend was allowed to turn to work, but when families who had been there on the day she turned up to the hospital heard he was returning to work, complained and posted this information on their website and Facebook page. Even after it was explained he was found innocent, they were still calling for him to be fired. He was made redundant 2 weeks later in a job he'd been at for 26 years, and no other worker was made redundant. While he took the company to court over unfair dismissal and won, he struggled to find a job of similar wage and position for over a year and almost lost his house. The woman, however, was given a suspended sentence as she was apparently suffering from stress at the time of the accusation, and no further action was taken. She then emailed him on Facebook and said, "I told you I'd ruin your fucking life." He handed over that to the police, who of course did nothing. Once again, I'd hate to ever say anybody was lying about such an evil act, but I do still strongly believe in innocent until proven guilty, especially when said person made accusations about 20 other famous wrestlers and had even bragged about fucking said wrestlers on their Facebook page. Even if Mick and the rest of the wrestlers she's accused are found 100% innocent, the fact that he's been accused will stay in people's minds.
You know, that's an awful story about what someone else did to someone, and that's absolutely awful that someone would make a story up like that and try to ruin someone's life. But the thing about it is that the man who did absolutely nothing and was found innocent because he had proof of he was somewhere else, he still couldn't live his life and lost his job and lost his position and lost respect, and she's still harassing him, and there's nothing he could do about it. There's nothing he could do about it. And in this case, the person that I'm telling you did this stuff, and I'm telling you his friends did this stuff, instead of going after them and even asking them, ask them until they start answering questions. But you don't. Instead, you come after me and my family, and you attack everything around me, including my property, and you make podcasts to, 18, 19, 20 in a row, harassing me, screaming at me and shit through like I just got around to listening to a lot of this stuff because it was so harassing. And the thing is that some people get listened to, and everyone on social media takes their side when it comes to this. But this is not what happened in this case, and this is why we're sitting here now reading out comments. So moving on, go on.
I knew it was only a matter of time before this shit spread to the wrestling stars.
Well, that's someone who knows better, because they've probably been around to know better.
These women who accuse men of sexually harassing them years and years after it was supposed to have happened should be punished for trying to ruin a person's good reputation. And the accused should only be known to the public if and when he is found guilty of such indiscretions. This whole "I was harassed 20 years ago" bullshit is getting ridiculous. It's not harassment. It's just not harassment.
I agree with his comment. Like "I was harassed 20 years ago when I was a grown woman" bullshit. That is getting old. It is getting old. Yeah. But I was molested by almost 2 dozen, you know what I mean? When I was a child is a whole fucking different issue. So please stop comparing. I don't know anyone in the Me Too movement who said I was a person under the age of 18 who had to endure this and this and this while I was growing up. It's not about the fucking Me Too movement. It's not about Time's Up. I haven't heard of anyone in either of those movements who have been under the age of 18. And when is it going to be the time that people start addressing people who were molested? And it takes people children
under the
who were
age of
molested
18.
under the age of 18. It takes these people a long time to come around to this. It takes a lot of therapy and a lot of acceptance and talking through it. And by the time people realize it, sometimes it is like 10, 15, 20 years later. And then other people who have complained about it all their lives aren't listened to, and they're swept up under the rug and shunned and blackballed so much that it's like, and then everyone wants to say that they never heard of this story. It's because every time the story tries to get told, people are like, oh, what's this one flapping her gums about now? And, you know, I don't even want to listen to it because it's too long. And I don't want to hear it because it's on Facebook Live. If either you want to know or you don't. And if you have like a fucking opinion about it, maybe you need to listen to it before forming an opinion and making asinine comments that then adds to what I got to talk about.
This comment I like stay away from people who are dedicated to misunderstanding you.
Right,
You know?
but how are you? That's social media.
Yeah. All right.
So
I do understand why it can take a victim years to come forward, and don't feel they should be punished for that reason. However, I do totally agree about their name not being released until proven guilty unless their job is dealing with children and vulnerable adults. That said, I am not defending this woman. From 90% of her Facebook posts, she seems to be out of her trade. In Soviet Union, we have saying, throw enough shit and some will stick, especially when throwing at sticky wall. At the moment, the wall is extremely sticky when the amount of rape accusations flying around about celebs, so I get the feeling she will think people will just believe her no matter what.
See, and that's the thing. Like, all these mixed comments really make them look more asinine than, like, they start out pretty sounding educated and positive, and then it's like...
All right, at best, this chick was an 80s and 90s wrestling groupie when she was a teenager, lied about her age to get in with the boys, and eagerly fucked them all, only to come out about it now. At worst, she's lying about it, all of it. Either way, she has no credibility. Okay.
Either way, I have no credibility. So either way, whether or not it happened or not, don't believe it because I have no credibility.
Right.
Whether it's true or not.
Okay, to add, if you watch the video where it shows going through the wrestlers and gets to Heyman's part, Google search the time and year and you can dig up what she is talking about. She used the wrestlers she did sleep with to help her groupiness. That's how she meant so many, and from just what I've seen posted on her Facebook, she was dang proud of it too. Okay, someone says, prove it. Prove it? Was Foley 15 as well? I mean, obviously not.
It wouldn't even be an issue if he was 15. What?
She looks just like a ring rat. Disgusting.
I look just like... What does a ring rat look like exactly?
A rat with like rings all over.
Yeah,
okay, I was molested by Stephanie McNamara. Okay. All right, no way this is true. Look at her Facebook page, and within seconds, you can see she's just out there jumping on whatever she thinks will pay off. Plus, from her Facebook page to the lady holding that sign in the article, 2 different people.
What? We're 2 different people from my Facebook page? I'm so sick of people saying that my Facebook page is fake and I'm a fake profile because I have several different... Please, continue to
And
read
the lady above is like 50. So 20 years ago, she'd have been more than an adult. Oh my God. Look at the other promotions on her Facebook page she associates with. Most of them when you use YouTube and see her parts, that's the role she plays. When it comes out not true, it really will hurt the one being abused. Just look at Rose McGowan's arrest, and now people are second-guessing her allegations. I befriended both on Facebook just to post something along the lines of what I posted here. Just a damn shame.
I'm not friends with that person on Facebook. And you people who keep sending me Facebook friend requests and then waiting until I do one of these live streams and wait to make like smart little comments underneath telling me to like kill myself and bury myself and drop dead and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, you're just proving exactly what I'm saying about what this program's about. So keep it up. because you're just making yourself look like more of an asshole. You won't watch the video to see what it's about, but you just want to add your fucking comments in there without knowing that some of your questions have already been answered. You just won't watch it to find out. So, yeah. Moving on.
Wait. I lost my place here. I'll scroll down to there's a lot of comments here. Alright, I doubt there is even a shred of truth to this. I doubt there's even a shred of truth to this. If it turns out to be untrue, as I imagine most of us expect, the site had better print out a retraction. This article is the epitome of jabroni, Jobber City journalism, and should be incredibly ashamed of spreading around an unsubstantiated rumor.
So, in other words, don't dare continue to talk about this and sweep it under the rug.
Alright, something tells me she's full of shit. Look at her Facebook page. It is a total groupie worship page. She even states former groupie at WWE. Sorry, but in this current state of sexual allegations involving all sorts of people, this is one of those that I really do not believe.
Well, wait a minute. If they're making a big deal about how I call my status as groupie, then how is it that they're not believing how it is I'm a groupie? I'm so sick of saying this, but go on.
Okay, Foley, nah. Apparently she was 15 years old for the next 20 years.
Of course, because that's how math works.
Okay, would have been better off to name Flair or Hogan. Foley, this is a nuke the fridge moment for sexual abuse.
That's someone who didn't watch or read anything.
She has named Flair as well as many others. I think the last count of wrestlers she has named was about 15, plus at least 2 managers. No proof of any. So this piece of garbage must have been the popular ride of the 1990s. Looks like someone is just trying to get famous. She's already famous. She's been on Jerry Springer a few times for other things and made a bondage film. Complete nut job. Okay, she posted on He posted a Facebook picture of her and Lawler that she says was from 1988. And she looks like she's 25 at least. So her dates are very suspect, and there's no proof of her age anywhere else.
Yes, there is. Yes, my license is on my timeline. Like, these are people that are just like, they want people to believe what they think. So they're just going to, they didn't search deep enough. It's like not too far in my timeline. Even my wrestling license from Larry Hazard to the state of New Jersey State Athletic Commission, like, you have to show ID to get a wrestling license, and all my information is on there. Go on.
Someone trying to get money or fame. LOL, get a job, bum. Okay, Foley, very unlikely. Best thing he can do is ignore the whole thing, as it's most likely a figment of her imagination. Some of the old ECW wrestlers had a moral deficiency. Cough, New Jack cough. But Foley is one of the nicest guys in the industry. And as they're yeah, right. That's their name.
Good for some.
Yeah, right.
Others. And again, we're back at ECW for some reason.
Okay, Jimmy Savile is one of Britain's best loved entertainers. Didn't stop him. I doubt Foley dipped into underage women, but just because they're nice guys doesn't matter.
Sensible.
I say true. Being nice is no get out of jail free card, but Savile always had a reputation for liking young girls and living the high life. No such stories about Foley.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it was young boys too.
Someone says bullshit.
Bullshit. They're even saying bullshit about Savile. Like,
no,
that's
just for this.
All right.
Okay, she looks too old to have been a minor at any point during Mick Foley's WWE WCW. Does anyone know how old she is? Plus, I just have a hard time believing this, not just because Mick seems like a great guy outside of the ring, but because these allegations have just become the new flavor of the week in today's overly sensitive PC liberal society. And did anyone notice she lists WWE groupie on that Facebook page?
Are you... I mean, it's like the same... shit, like, I look 50 years old, so that, in other words, then these people are probably looking at pictures of me when I was a teenager, saying that I look 50 years old then, too. I haven't reached 50 yet, by the way, and I don't know whether or not
this is not true, Daddy. Personally speaking, I don't believe the story at all, and that this is another unfortunate case of someone trying to seek attention and money during these recent sex scandals. Painful people, I could say. This hurts the people that did get assaulted. It's disgusting. You're disgusting. I really hope this isn't true. Foley is the last guy with all that he does that I would think would do something like this. Some people think they make bad judgments. What do you want from us?
They're saying guilty and innocent until proven guilty and everything.
He might be a nice guy and all, but
no.
like,
but then the thing is that it's not working the same way on my side, where you're saying, okay, innocent until proven guilty. You're not then giving me the same benefit of the doubt when you're calling me a disgusting piece of trash, a liar, whore, ring rat, motherfucker, that I didn't fuck your daddy. This is not your fucking daddy. So why are you so defensive about it? I don't get it. I don't understand these people who act like it's like I'm telling a story about their fucking father. But go on.
I don't know. Like, it's kind of like in movies, it's like the same.
Please move.
It's like they never saw a horror movie because they don't know, like, what the hell. Like, they're just in another dimension. Like, these people in the comments saying, probably trying to make a name for herself or trying to get money. Your name is already out there, so it's like they don't know anything about it. They're just putting their comments out there, just throwing
let's just move on.
Her Facebook page, the woman has tried everything except this. The woman's tried everything. Okay. If you gave him consent to fuck you, assuming this actually happened, it's on you. Everybody's a victim of sexual assault. All of a sudden, you gave consent. It's too late to regret it now. If she was 15, it is called rape, cut and dry. And this one says, that all depends on the state that this allegedly took place in. States have different laws, especially when it comes to the age of consent. That is assuming that she is telling the truth. Wrong.
It's like they think that they're educated on the law, but they actually aren't. And I think
if she was below the age of consent,
educated on the law,
then it's very much on them. Having read her comments, it seems that she has only recently realized this herself. It's very interesting that no police report has ever been filed. That would suggest that she is looking to be paid off. Seeking actual justice.
But I wonder, did they look into this? Did you go to the Philadelphia Police Department or the police department in Baltimore, Maryland, or the state of New York, or anywhere? Did you go and investigate this? Because if you do, give me a copy of your report.
Feel inclined to report it at the time that this allegedly took place, it is on her. I do agree that she is most likely doing this for money. Oh, it's great. Everyone's agreeing.
Of course, everyone agrees, but what money? Like, again,
my name is Angel Amoroso, and bitch, 999.
What?
Looking for attention. So just
no, read the comment.
That's what I just did. My name is Angel Amoroso, and I'm bitch. All those numbers looking for attention. That's it. Someone said I'm a certified slut and a bona fide bullshitter. You'll be perfect for.
Well, good for them.
What a surprise, a loser posting on an online forum using gimmick thinks underage rape, sexual assault is attention-seeking. Get a life, virgin.
Wait, who's the virgin? I'm the virgin?
No, they're saying it in response to
okay. Sometimes I just...
Okay, cry me a river, loser, and try to get your virginity back. Pay to a victim. I just pray when your inbred daughter, mother, sister get raped, you're there to laugh at them, too. Wouldn't be surprised if you're the one carrying out the assault, you fat fuck. Get out in your mom's basement and grow up.
I love when people actually have, like, something logical to say to other people who are being idiots.
All right, no need to get butthurt, pal. Justice will be served if the accuser is telling the truth, but that seems highly unlikely given the present evidence.
The present evidence?
I'm sorry. Don't waste your time with that idiot. He's just another pedo victim who's trying to get his virginity back. Groups of the person who wrote this comment about how you're bitch number, whatever. Groups all accusers of the current scandal as lying attention seekers. In this case, I don't believe her given her self-proclaimed groupie status, but this guy encompassed all victims of abuse, which is out of line.
Oh, really? So it's out of line for, and again, I wonder if any other people who spoke out about their stories about sexual harassment or sexual assault or rape in any way in the year 2018 have received this much harassment or any harassment at all on behalf of defending the person being accused. That I would really like to know. And if there's anyone out there that has read threads or anything and see that there's another person, like as far as the hashtag Me Too movement or the Time's Up movement, like these women who got harassed and gang stalked or cyberbullied or anything, you let me know if there's another one out there that had to go through this still a year later. You people can't get a life. So we're going to continue this. Please go on.
I think it's important that victims of sexual assault can be heard and the law to be fully implemented. That being said, this woman's story doesn't seem to be fact-based and her dates don't add up, which doesn't make a good start for her case. Someone said join the club Foley.
And again, this is all because they're taking information from videos that you've seen previous that this douchebag Fuzo and the rest of the idiot wrestling podcasts around listened to him. And because I wasn't really talking to anyone for money like you all think that I was after, they just took his story and his lies and ran with everything he said as the truth and facts. So go on.
Okay. I don't know, I just Googled and found some vids of her wrestling and she looks nothing like the old hag in the pic. I call bullshit.
And now they're insistent that my Facebook is not the same person in the video, as if this isn't something that is clearly being explained, that it is decades later, yes. And I mean, I may have gotten older, but I really don't think that anything has changed other than my hair color, and I don't know where they're getting this, but go on. Go on.
Okay, I know this is touchy, but some of these women need to hold themselves accountable and not ride the gravy train. Gravy train? I have no doubt that the majority of people that raise this awareness have legitimate claims, but some are clearly there for cash grabs. Her saying she was assaulted by multiple superstars just means she couldn't keep her legs closed. Unless it was a serious rape train, I wonder what Steph will call it. I'm not sure.
You know, if I got legs closed when I was 12 and 13 and 14 and 15 years old, that's called statutory rape, because I can't give consent for sexual activity as a child considered a minor. Just, you know, just a little lull there. Okay, let's move on. All
right, bitch. You look around 25 in those pics. If you were a 12-year-old groupie, where the fuck were your parents at? This is bullshit. Nobody believes your nobody lying ass. Find another way to make money, because you sure as hell aren't going to make any with these false accusations. Leave the legends alone. You're just feeding off all this sexual assault shit that's going around now in Hollywood, and nobody cares about you. If this is really true, you obviously lied about your age. Your fault, not theirs. Now you look older than most of the ones you're accusing. Okay.
You know, everything that was just said was wrong, whether or not it was mumbled with a chin up to the mouth. Everything that was just said was wrong. And first off, all these people are assuming that I lied about my age because of that Don Tony, the guy that has people piss on him, said that I lied about my age, and he made everyone think that I said 16 also. And if you watched the past episodes, you heard him. He's a friggin' bumbling idiot, and put everyone under the wrong impression of supposedly what I said, and I didn't say any of this stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. Except her video says she was 12 in 1988, but this video from 1999 is not a 14-year-old. No, it's 15 or 14, unless. No, wait, hold on. 19.
Half the year. I was March.
It was November 1990.
Birthday
so
is
you were
March
15.
4th. Yes, 1975.
It's just math.
Minus 1990. You know, as I'm not going to explain how birthdays work again, because I'm pretty sure everyone knows. But you know, for a few months I'm one age, and then I turn another age, like everyone else. I don't know how people are misunderstanding this. Go on.
That lady is mentally unstable. That video is nuts. All the stuff that's been happening with actors and politicians, I was afraid something was going to happen regarding a wrestler.
They were afraid of it. So now that it is,
honestly,
they refuse to let other people believe it because they just didn't want it to happen. And since they don't want it to happen, they'll make it so that no one will believe that it happened.
Okay, honestly, with the carny mentality, wrestler sexual allegation have been an open secret for decades. But Foley, him, she looks upwards of mid-20s in that picture. If that's true, then I just don't get what took her so long. Also, was it forced or consensual?
People don't understand. Like, I looked a certain age, and my face still looks the same, but it wasn't that was blocking people's vision. I was not lying about my age. This was not making people question my age. You get it?
Not condoning these allegations of sexual assault or anything, but holy shit, we're on the path to living in bubbles. Can't say anything to anyone, you might offend them. Can't touch anyone, they might misconstrue it as assault. What's the world coming to? You don't.
I'm not saying it was an assault. I'm saying that it was statutory rape. It was sex that, you know, I couldn't consent to because I was underage and it happened.
It wasn't just like a brush by or like a smack on the ass or anything like that.
And I'm also not saying that he, you know, ripped my clothes off and brutally attacked me or, you know, even hurt me in any way. I liked the guy, you know, and I
shouldn't have been around him.
I believe that he liked me. I should not have been around him or any of his friends, you know, because I was well developed and advanced beyond my years, and they liked me and I liked them, and but they liked me a little bit too much, and they shouldn't have liked me that much. I shouldn't have liked them that much, but they were the adults to make that decision, you know, because I was a very intoxicated child. So you make a decision on who you would leave it up to if it were your child being intoxicated and around a bunch of people that they look up to and idolize. Like, would you blame your daughter for it or would you blame them for it? Go on.
Okay, what the F? This is hard to believe with MICK Foley. If it really did happen, maybe she lied and said she was 18. I don't know. As a fan of mixed, I don't want to believe it, but in this day and age, anything can happen in WWE.
Wasn't in the WWE, so, you know, again, they keep adding stuff to confuse people about what the story is and where it happened. Still, people are saying, after listening to this for a long time, they're still saying ECW and 16. Like, I can't even say, and these are people that are watching these shows. I can't even say it enough. Go ahead.
Okay, I truly believe in innocent until guilt is proven beyond the reason of doubt. Mick is innocent until proven otherwise, period. Unless she has some evidence of this other than a word against word, I refuse to believe it, but more I'm happy if the claims are investigated. This is probably a TNA storyline. That bitch is annoying in YouTube.
What's that got to do with it? I'm annoying everywhere.
She's annoying on any tube, they say.
See? Someone's watching. All right.
Hard to see, but it looks like the lady is older than Mick, so I don't think her story holds up.
It looks like I'm older than MICK Foley. All right. Well, I mean, they're just proving their own point because it's like, if I look that old, then understand that when I was younger, that I looked a lot older for my age. So you understand that it wasn't such a question of like, how old are you? And now that you look so old that we don't believe you. So go on. How long have we got?
Over an hour?
How much over an hour?
107, so 108.
How many comments are those? We just want to see. All right. You know what? We're not going to push this too much. We're just going to go back to the beginning now. to our comment section and welcome people who have joined us, because there's so many articles that we do have to read through and other episodes that we have to get to. So we thank Evan Romano has joined us, and Brad Williams joined us, Sean Rattray's joined us, Nell Kittrell joined us, Joe Zanoli joined us, Johnny Moran joined us, Bob Brzezinski, I said I would learn it, but I can't, it joined us, Anthony Gennaro joined us, Christina J. Poulos joined us, yeah, all right, Sam Moxley joined us, Justin Doan joined us, Omen Raksha joined us, Greg York joined us, Lynn Brown joined us, hi doll, happy holidays, Bill Jaime joined us, Kurt Schimmel joined us, and great Kurt Schimmel. Lynn Brown, who is one of, we could go to the top for the comment section. Lynn Brown, who is one of my very long-time friends, who was around me during the years of 1987, 1988, 1989, when I was 12 and 13 or 14 years old. She was there for a lot of what I'm talking about. Her and Jack Andrews and a lot of people from the Wrestling Radio fan club, which I'll get into another time. But I'm glad to see that a lot of you are joining in here to listen to this and hear it out and see the funny comments where people don't believe that this stuff happened and this is the kind of lives that we actually lived back then. So first comment is just hi. Hi, Sean. Hi, okay, so just hello comments and what the fuck? WWE Mickey Foley. What the fuck about? Yeah, I don't know what that means, Billy Honey, but all right. So that's done with the comment section. There wasn't much of one this evening. So we don't want to extend the time on this, but if you would like to get in touch with us on any form of social media, I am on Angel Amoroso 1 on Twitter, Angel Amoroso for you on Instagram, and on YouTube, Angel Amoroso versus Dirty Dead Doll Productions and Mermu YouTube. You could get in touch with Christina J. Poulos. Christina Jade Poulos on Facebook, and then there's Xtina Jade on Instagram. And otherwise, thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live for another episode of Fuck You, Mick Foley. And I hope that you'll join us back for episode 10. And until then, have a great night and a great life. And
all right, well, that is the end of, I know it says episode 9, but that's not true. So thank you for joining us here on Angel Amoroso versus YouTube for episode 11 of Fuck You, Mick Foley. And hopefully you'll join us back for episode 12, which will be back shortly. Until then, have a nice night and a nice life.